I used to have a rep that worked for me, one of my favorites of the 9 years that I've been in the sales game. And you can't underestimate the value of controlling a call. This guy was lights out when it came to giving a good introduction, getting the customers to like him, painting a picture, telling a story. But the guy's calls went on for over an hour because that's all he did. He didn't know how to disseminate his call, how to take it to the next step, how to actually effectively weave from one step of the call into the next. So he didn't close enough business. Sometimes all I did was sit behind him and utter one word: transition, transition. And that was code for us to go into the next leg of the call. I encourage you, take a note card, take a piece of paper, put it on your computer screen, take it with you with your pitch book, whatever the case may be, and write down these words: opening, questions, pitch, close, overcome. Write them down. Because as soon as you get done with one, you've got to go into the other. Now, the customer's going to try to take you off your game all the time. And they also have a routine as well. It's called a defense mechanism. They want you gone. So you have to acknowledge everything they say, respectfully put it in its place, and move on to your next agenda item. Have you asked all the questions you need to ask? Great, move on. If you haven't, acknowledge what they said, put it in its place, ask your next question until you have enough to ice the deal. You know what their weakness is, and you can convince them that that is their weakness and that you can cure it. That's what the call is all about. That's what sales is all about. That customer has a defense mechanism. They talk to people like you all the time. And that's why you've got to break out of that mold. We've talked about not acting like the telemarketer, not sounding like the telemarketer, not sounding like every schmuck who's called and failed before. That's what you do. Find the way to not do that. Don't fall into those regular traps. Have an answer for those types of things. They say, just send me some information. Can you leave something with me that I can look over? Absolutely, Mr. Customer. I can leave you something. I can send you some information. What specifically do you need to see to understand that this is the best thing out there? And then stop talking. Let them tell you. Now, what you're doing is in actuality selfish. I'm not going to leave them anything. I'm not going to send them anything, ever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them, what specifically do you need to see? They're going to say, well, I need to see, the cost, the type of packages. Perfect. The type of package that we would actually recommend for somebody like you, based on what you already told me about this and that, is our XYZ package. The reason being because of blah, blah, blah. And then you go in for the close. Thing of the matter is, they can't see it coming. Don't ever show all your cards until you absolutely have to. But what I'm basically doing there is I'm acknowledging what he said. He said you wanted to see something. Perfect. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to respectfully put it in its place. And then I'm going to move on. I'm going to ask you my next question. They say, I'm not interested. I don't want to buy anything. Perfect. I understand that your knee-jerk reaction to somebody calling you over the phone or knocking on your door is that you're not interested. I get that. What specifically doesn't interest you about having a better solution to cleaning your floors? Well, I don't really feel like paying any money. Exactly. I understand you don't want to pay any money, and that's why I'm here. You're sinking all of your money right now into these wet wipes. You're getting on your hands and knees. You're spending your own time where you could be doing something else to clean your floor. I'm here to fix that. I'm going to save you hundreds of dollars per year if you show me just a few minutes of your time. Now, how specifically are you cleaning your floors? I took what they were talking about, where they were trying to take the call, I acknowledged it, put it in its place, and I moved on to my next agenda. That's what you've got to do throughout the call, the whole way through. And we're going to get to future installments. We're going to talk more about fact-finding, how to overcome objections, but we're going to use those exact same methods. Because that's how you sell, and that's how birth of a salesman can happen to you. Push it as far as you can go so you can look back on the call with no regrets. That's really what sales is. Like we talked about in the last episode, you won't close them all, but it doesn't matter. If you push it as far as you can, you're going to push a lot of these people as close to the cliff as possible. Some of them are going to fall off. It's that simple. And that's all you got to rely on. A lot of times the people that sell the most may sell 1 in 1,000, 1 in 300, 1 in 500 calls more often than the ones that are deemed unsuccessful. So in order to make you a success, it's law of averages, it's probability and statistics. And that's what you've got to study. Become a student of that. Guys, thanks for watching. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on CARSON V, as in victory, Heady, HEADY.com. I appreciate your time. Look forward to our next installment, and make it a great selling day. All the best.